That's the real
All right.
That's the pig. We call this the pig.
All right. So we're going to give you like a little bit of a sneak preview of some very exciting things, but I know there's a lot of stuff that you want to share. I don't know how much you're able to share, but.
Share whatever I want.
Hey, what stays in Vegas?
Yeah, that's it. Right? All right, you guys excited about iHub?
Yes.
I know you guys are anxious to get your units, right?
Yes.
Well, listen, we got some good news for you.
What do you got?
This morning I got off with our manufacturing partner, and we're about to secure 130,000 units in POs. So we are going to be the front runner. And those are going to be starting to be delivered this summer. So they're not far away. I know a lot of you guys are being patient, and you guys know the supply channel issues, but we're working through them. And we definitely are going to be having the most inventory in the marketplace. So that's pretty exciting news, right? Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. You guys want some more good news?
Yeah.
Listen, we're growing. We're scaling very quickly. I think we're at 22,500 affiliates now, and we plan to be probably over 100,000 before the summer's over. You guys are doing an incredible job with growth, but we're going to make it a lot easier for you guys, because one of the things that we've really done well at iHub is we're leading the pack as far as HNT per unit, right? By far. It's not even close, right? And so we've done a lot of research. You guys know we talk about our models and our six-pack models quite a bit and how much they're producing. A lot of you guys are creating that out in the marketplace right now yourself. But we've created a tool that's going to make it a lot easier for you guys. And so we have some of our new executive team here tonight. I want you guys to meet these guys. And they're right here in Las Vegas as well. So if you can get their phone number, you can bug them too. But please don't bug them. They got a lot of coding to do. So with that, I want to bring up our new CIO, Eric Z. Come on up here, Eric. Hey. We're going to give you guys a little preview of what these guys have created for us, and I think you're getting pretty excited about it.
Sure. Nice to meet everybody. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. So first I want to thank the iHub team, Michael, Rick, and John for bringing us aboard. We have a very talented team, really ready to do everything we can to help you guys be successful. And so with that, we developed a really powerful tool that is going to help you not only place your hotspots, but understand exactly how everything is working and really give you full visibility on everything. And so our job is to make you guys successful. And so that's really going to be our full-time mission here at iHub. And I look forward to getting to know everybody, so I'll keep it short. And I don't know if there's anything up on the screen yet. Oh, there we go. So what this is called Helium Track. And really it's a full management platform to not only oversee your hotspots, but to manage them and to understand the placements of them. And so we've had built-in intelligence that's going to give you quick, decisive, actionable advice and things that will help you understand on exactly where to place them. And so really, it's going to be your Bible. It's going to be your place to log in and oversee everything. You'll be able to see all of your existing hotspots. You'll be able to plan your hotspots with other people as well to try to get the best placement. And so it's going to tell you everything about your area. Right now we're looking at Las Vegas, and we can see exactly how many hotspots there are within a certain radius. We know the growth of the hotspots within this area. We know how much they're earning, and we can go ahead and place those hotspots, plan them right in here. So we have a lot of really interesting things in there. And with the iHub's team's direction, we're going to be only making it easier and smarter for you guys, and really giving you the tools to go out and share this, to show someone that, hey, you have a really good placement. You should join under my team. I'm going to show you. I'm going to coach you. And so it's going to create an assessment report for you. And so I don't know how much I can give away exactly.
Oh, you can do more than that.
Yeah.
You see that intelligence button up there?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, Eric.
Okay. So basically, whether you're looking at a deployed hotspot or a planned hotspot, so something that you want to place, so maybe at your house or your cousin's house or your office or wherever it is, we have built-in intelligence that's actually going to rank and score that hotspot, and it's based off of a lot of variables. It's based off of proximity. It's based off of oh, we're not logged in there, so that's why it's not going to work. Or actually, go ahead and click on a hotspot, and then there you go.
Yeah, won't do it.
If and when he clicks it. So when he gets his mouse on there, did he click on one? I can't see well. There you go. All right, so it's gonna load up that intelligence there, And so it's gonna tell you, you know, the proximity, how close are you to other miners? Are you found within the same hexagonal shape? Are there too many there? What are the hotspots around that earning? And so variables that will help you understand the earnings of that hotspot and really tell you whether or not you should place one there. So if you have maybe 20 places that you can place a hotspot and you wanna know, you know, I'm getting 3 miners, where should I place those 3 miners, and I have 20 options, this is gonna be that tool for you. It's gonna help you go out there and be successful, and so that's really what our job is. There's a lot more in here, and we're working on making it better and smarter for you guys, so that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
When's it gonna be ready?
Yeah, we got Helium over there. He's gonna be the
Heliumtrack.app.
director of our European operations. I'm the CIO, and Brandon List, who's out here, is our senior software developer, who's quite the genius, so.
Eric, when it's gonna be available?
Talk to that gentleman over there.
We are gonna be doing some beta testing here in the next couple of weeks, so some of you guys are gonna be invited into a beta test. Some of you VIPs, some of the other guys that wanna get involved, but I'm gonna expand a little bit.
Yeah, please
okay?
do.
So what you're not seeing up there yet is basically a virtual assessment. For, let's say you have an address, your doctor, you know it's a great area, you can actually pull up this assessment, score this spot from potential earnings, from proximity, from other miners and so forth, and you can run a report, virtual report, and deliver it to your doctor, okay? And give him an opportunity to execute on it. So there's nothing like it in the marketplace. These guys are brilliant. They did an amazing job, and it's not done yet, but we're a breath away. And it's gonna be that much easier to take what we've done in our models to say, hey, listen, we are already at the top of Helium. We're already producing more HNT with our hotspots than anybody else, but now we all can do it with this tool. So good job, Eric. You guys are great. This is our stuff. This is our stuff. So, any questions for Eric before he goes?
Yes.
A quick question, so like the app is called Helium, which is kinda cool, but that's the iHub has the name Helium as our app?
It's Helium Track,
Uh-huh.
so, but that's just the name of the software that's gonna help you plan and place your hotspot, so it's a placement tool.
But it's proprietary. That's what you're asking.
What was that?
It's proprietary. It's ours, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So there'll be a little more branding in there as well when we're done, but we're just giving you guys a real scratch of the surface of this thing. I mean, it's pretty wild when you can see what it does. So it's really our main thing is focused on deployment. Everything to track hotspots, it'll tie into our software, our commission software. You'll be able to view your teams in there eventually as well. So there's been a lot of assets that are going to be coming into there as well. But the deployment is second to none.
Is it the same as the one that we have already that like shows how many helium we earned? Is there gonna be an addition to that app, or are they gonna combine the two, or what?
No, this will do everything any application will do out there and then some. And it's a lot quicker. You want to explain that?
Yeah, so essentially, I'm sure that some people go and they go on the Helium Explorer, clicking on hotspots, seeing earnings and understanding, okay, this one's making this much and this much. So we have that all built into here, and it's really, we're running our own database, it's up to date, and so it's gonna prevent you from having to bounce around different systems. But again, it has so much intelligence in there that you're not gonna find anywhere else. I'm sure that you guys all have seen helium.place, right? You have that sweet spot. So we have that built in here, but we also have that proximity score, we have that earnings score, we have that res score. We have the ability to also just oversee all of your hotspots and oversee some of your team's hotspots. We have the ability to click on a hotspot and it pulls up a full view if you click on any hotspot there, and it'll show you everything that the Helium website does plus some. We actually show data that they don't even show on their site. And so it's all coming from Helium's blockchain. They have all that data there. We're just able to kind of utilize it a little bit better.
So will the ULF be on here too?
I believe as of now, it's going to still be where it is.
We talked about that today. We're the next phase. We're going to integrate some of our commission software in here so you guys can see your teams. So it's kind of
The goal is to merge this all into one seamless system for you guys, so you're not bouncing around, and that's really the end
This will
goal.
replace the marketing software first, and then eventually be a one-stop application.
Will it show topography?
Yes, it does. We have building data in there, so that means we have line of sight. That means that we have terrain, so we can actually see, and that's something that we're also building into the intelligence that is really important, right? If you're going to plant a hotspot and there's a big building there, you want to be able to see that, visually on the map. So that's actually functioning right now if I went in the back and showed you, but I'm sure we'll save that for another time, right?
Save it for them.
Okay.
You guys are seeing this before anybody.
Yeah.
So.
It's like a quick technical question, like, so if my hotspot's crushing it here in Vegas, like I have like 250 coins in the first like 25 days.
Excellent.
And it says relayed and I don't know what that means.
Okay.
And does that matter, and should I fix that?
Well, I mean, your earnings are excellent, so maybe just don't touch anything, you know? But relayed technically means that there is a connection issue, and I know that iHub has a support area for dealing with that. If you go in your back office, there's a button that you can reach out to.
And Josiah is overbooked, as you guys
Right.
have been on his calendar, but we're gonna try to free him up for some more hours.
But-
yeah, I'd fix it if you.
Is it worth fixing, or?
You know what?
Yeah.
Not quite doing that, so.
Yeah, you might wanna fix yours, yours is all right.
Yeah,
What steps do I take? I'm sorry.
In the back
Someone here's to do
office,
it for
where the
$100.
Zooms are, you can book a time with Josiah. Okay, he's one of our technical support guys. He'll walk, you gotta open up some ports on your motor.
So you know it's filled for June and July, not May.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We realize that. Thank you, Paul.
Just checking.
Any other questions?
Yep, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, it is unrelated to really to technology, but I ordered a six-pack when I first found out about this in May, and I know that like many people, I'm still waiting patiently for those.
Mhm.
And now I'm starting to order like 100 or so that are gonna come on addresses that I'm already identifying. What realistically am I expecting for delivery?
July.
July.
Yep, July. But guys, I apologize, we're not gonna dive into those questions, do a Q&A today, but July is
I
the answer.
apologize.
No worries, no worries,
Thank you very much
but
for that.
that's why I wanted to answer that. We got a lot of units coming in,
Yes.
and in the next week or so, we're gonna be making some big announcements. There's some huge announcements coming, so stay tuned. When we say to come join us on the big Zoom, you wanna be on the big Zoom, okay? Because it's gonna be, it's a big pivot for us, it's exciting.
One more related question, or should I?
Sure,
keep
go ahead.
going? Okay, so you mentioned there's 130,000 on order now with the next purchase order?
Yeah, we're securing them, we're securing the purchase orders
Securing
now.
the purchase, okay, so again, it's gonna be subject to availability of chips and all kinds of technology.
No,
stuff.
we know that we have these units are available. If we go to purchase order, we can get them, the parts are available.
Okay, so are those on existing orders that you've received from people like myself with iHub?
You really are digging in, aren't you?
I wanna know what to expect for future.
You catch me after this, all right?
Thank you, Rick.
Yes.
Since the halving is happening in August, do you think that this PO will be ready before then?
We're gonna deliver a lot of units from now till August, but obviously, we're talking about from to the end of the year into the first quarter for these POs. Okay?
Is it gonna be based on like when they were ordered or like?
Gosh, you guys are digging in, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
So that, for example,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Paul, are we ready? We gonna give away that pig or what?
Guys, what happens if everybody in this room has 30 units and, you know, is there saturation?
Yeah, you know, one of the things we're really conscious about, we don't like, I talk about Vero Beach a lot, right? Because that's where we built our original model. We wanted to prove the concept of the six-pack. We started with 6 units, and every one of them was producing 300 to 400 HNT, you know, with those 6 units, right? The proximity, height, antennas, the whole 9. And we kind of have a general rule with everybody in Vero Beach, a small town America. We don't drop pins on each other. We don't drop hotspots on each other. Now, you go to a big city, that's going to happen, right? You guys have seen it in San Francisco. Like 3 months ago, San Francisco was some of the top earners, and now they're not. We have a lot of units in San Francisco, so we're watching them. So I recommend, you know, not just focusing on big cities, but look at that last frontier, because that's what it's going to be, right? This is a gold rush, right? It's a real estate grab, and people are not focused on small towns and smaller cities. So that's my recommendation, because with this app, you can build anywhere. You don't have to just be in your backyard. Okay? So that's my recommendation, because it is going to happen, but it won't happen in iHub. Okay? We're going to protect you guys from each other. Okay? So it really is a real estate thing, and in that announcement, you'll know how we're going to do that.
Based on your small town,
information traveling from your unit to internet and back, so it could be a little bit lighter. It may not produce the same kind of volume of coin that you would in a big city, where you have a lot more smart item tracking.
That's where
you found that.
Well, that's a great question. We don't know the answer to that question, but, you know, we've talked about that, you know, the
Like, you're in a
IoT.
rural area, and it's, you know.
As far as coverage is concerned, it doesn't matter right now. Because what we're getting paid on, you could be in the North Pole and do what we did in Vero Beach, right? But as far as future IoT, how much data? Somebody said to me, one of our partners who's very sophisticated on blockchain, said, well, think about this. Think about the number of units that are going to be in San Francisco. Yes, there's more IoT, but in my town, there's 100 units and we're covered, right? There's only 100 units to be sharing that data, so it's a little bit different. So we don't know the answer to that question, Chuck, but, you know, my take on it is it might be just as good as the big
Real
city.
life TV. One other quick question on the antenna business. There's a lot of good things coming out about that, but I was watching on the Helium app, Helium.
Look at the question.
They're talking about being able to set, adjust based on the length of a cable going to your antenna and so on, that you can actually get better reception, better service and all by being able to. There's supposed to be a way to set the settings for the length of the cable wire and so forth. Have you looked into that, or do you know anything about it?
No, I really don't. We've tested the cables through the cable companies we have on our website, and we run them at 30, 40 feet, and it's hardly any loss. Okay.
I heard up to maybe as high as.
We heard 10 feet until we got it tested, but that didn't prove out for us.
Yeah, well, I've got some of those,
With the saturation, how the 5 billion HMT comes in, I put the number of 5 is that.
Yeah, we're getting in the weeds now. You started this. What's your name? What's your name? We're gonna move on, guys, because we can get into Q&A, and that's not what this is all about. I want to meet you guys, talk to you in a little bit. So I'll answer some of those questions offline, but we're gonna raffle this thing here in just a few minutes. Mr. Krim, this is John Krim. He's the one that works day and night for you guys. He's up at 3 o'clock every morning with me. John, you like to say anything?
I'd just like to thank everyone that's been joining and sharing and making my life
Exciting?
No, but it's great. I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah.
All
right, good.
The one thing I want to share is, part of doing this is I want to help build a community of people that are going to go around and do more than just earn money, but go out and touch the lives and influence people to help children. That's kind of my goal and mission. And I can't do it alone, so I know I'm meeting a lot of you guys that are passionate about that too, and so it's very encouraging.
Amen.
So thank you guys.
John I met years ago in another company that I built, and he found out about Viva Kids. That's a nonprofit organization that I started in 2007 with some of my partners after coming off the mission field for 10 years, lived overseas. I went overseas in 1993 to play American football. I was a few pounds lighter, a little faster, and played in Ukraine. Lived in Ukraine I went over there for a summer, and I ended up staying out of there for a long time. I thought it was going to be 30 days, and it turned into 1 year, it turned into 2 years, it turned into 5 years, it turned into 10 years, and got to travel all around the world. But it changed my life and gave me a mission that, helping underprivileged children is something that we all should be passionate about. And that's going to be a big mission you guys are going to hear about. We've taken now thousands of people through our business ventures down to the Dominican Republic, where we have 400 kids down there. And we call them vacations with a purpose. We have a lot of fun, and we're not only going to go down there, we're going to build some hubs down there for our kids as well. So you guys, as this pandemic starts to unveil itself and for what it really is, we'll be down there together. So we look forward to that. But we are giving a lot of our HNT to our kids, and so you guys are going to hear a lot about that. It's not just a publicity thing; it's something we're passionate about, and that's the reason John joined me many years ago. The reason he puts up with me and my crazy ideas, but he's been great. So I appreciate you, John. Thank you. I know, Paul. What happened? That's going to be a quick thing here. All right, couple more questions, all right?
What's the international future? Like, where can we ship units to currently? And then is Helium going to be all over the world? Can you give us kind of like the lay of the
Yeah, can I, our international director's here. Maybe he can give us a little insight to our newest member of our team. But we are talking a lot now about Europe, okay? UK, Europe, and Australia are two of the markets we're trying to secure some POs for. Until we get those POs in hand, we're just our hands are tied, right? We really, because the units are different and so forth. So we're hoping to have some announcements on that in the next few weeks. But we're working hard as part of these units that we're securing. A chunk of those are going to be for international units, okay? So
currently just U.S. and Canada?
No, we have people all over. We're hoping to get a first pallet over to the UK here in the next couple of weeks. And so.
Yeah, well, anybody in the world can sign up for IA as an affiliate, and they could introduce people anywhere else in the world. The places where units can currently be purchased will start generating helium, and people will benefit by that in our iHub program without anybody having to have their own unit. That's an amazing aspect. of this plan, that's possible to do. The ability to get this to all the other countries in the world, right now it's US, Canada, UK and Europe and Australia, those are the only places with our partner CalChip Connect that units have been able to be ordered, and they're just getting ready to start doing some deliveries into Australia. But the plan was to launch Southeast Asia about now, but because of the worldwide semiconductor chip problem, that's been delayed. The timing on that will depend on how quickly this entire semiconductor situation can kind of get back in place. We've been spoiled over the last 5+ years with what's called just-in-time supply chain, where people would place orders and just get what they need, and everything was working together like clockwork. And in the last year and a half, that's been pretty much unraveled. Plus, you got all these people now working at home, using more technology. It's really created an amazing situation. I mean, Elon Musk made a comment that in the beginning of the pandemic, all of a sudden people discovered that you couldn't get toilet paper, right? I remember going to the store one day and realizing that we were in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and I didn't know that, right? And so that's what he said. The same thing's been doing in the electronics industry. People have been hoarding semiconductors. Normally they get just what they need, but they're like, everybody's ordering way more than they need for a normal period of time. So it's going to take a while for all this to resettle out, but it's not going to be a huge amount of time. In a matter of 3 to 5 years, probably the worldwide network for helium is going to be well established, all over the world. So, we're in the early stages of this. So in the meantime, build your networks, get your affiliates all around the world, and get people to reserve a unit in countries that aren't currently available to place orders, so that we could start putting a database of thousands of individuals with addresses in a particular country, so that when the time comes where we're here, okay, it's ready to start turning on the spigot a little bit, which country should we go in first? We could say, well, here's all the database. We've got 2,000 people on the ground in this place and 5,000 people on the ground in this place, and it'll be a lot more intelligence to know where to go in. So don't not reach out to people in the meantime.
You brought up a really good point. People can sign up anywhere. So let's say I have a friend in Singapore, and he signs up, can't get a machine, and then he signs up his friend who lives in Las Vegas who gets a machine. Are you saying this comp plan is going to pay the free
Absolutely.
members? No activity requirement?
No activity requirement, totally optional to have a unit.
And you want an auto ship included? Because we'll put one in.
Yeah, that's unprecedented. That's really cool.
This is totally, everything about this is unprecedented. Yeah. So absolutely.
I just wanted to, maybe this is a second great question, but what effect is the halving going to have? Is there anything we should be doing?
All right, so the halving coming up on the beginning of the 1st of August, okay? I don't know if you know what the halving is. And the analogy in Bitcoin mining would be they periodically raise the difficulty level, making it twice as much computer power to generate the same amount of Bitcoin. And it's associated with the value increasing. And they anticipate the same kind of thing happening with helium, that it will drive the tokenomics of the model. So just a little bit about this, what that means specifically. Right now in the world of helium, in the helium white paper or whatever they got it figured out, that 5 million tokens a month is the maximum amount of tokens that can be mined in a monthly period, and that gets spread out amongst all the miners. So that would mean that the number of tokens per unit after that 5 million was hit would be reduced to accommodate that, which is all part of raising the value. They become more rare and that sort of thing. So, but where we currently are, and I haven't had a chance to check this in the last couple of weeks, but the last time I checked, there was only about 3.5 million tokens a month that were being mined. Now, when the halving comes, it means that instead of 5 million being the cap, it'll be 2.5 million. So it's not going to be, you know, a complete halving this first round, because, you know, it's going to be some number in between, because I don't think we even reached that maximum yet. So
when the land grab's done, will there be a service income opportunity?
well, here's the thing. The whole first part of this, the part that we're in on right now, is building the network. It's the field of dreams. Build it and they will come. We're building it. The IoT companies and all of that will come as we've got the territory covered that they can migrate all of their IoT into the Helium network. So they've got a 50-year plan. If you look on the helium.com website, they got it pretty well outlined. So right now, the weighting on the amount of helium that's being generated through the proof of coverage is weighted so that much more is going towards proof of coverage, which is building the network. Down the road, it's going to change where the weighting's going to be on the data moving through the network, okay? So, and then we're just seeing the beginning of this whole, you know, amazing explosion in IoT. I mean, we talk about people in small towns, rural areas. There's an amazing amount of IoT that's going to be in places like that, in agricultural applications, forestry management. We're just seeing the beginning of how amazing creativity can be to deploy for doing things to make things more convenient, you know, more cost effective, more efficient to do that. But what we're doing with Helium is we're removing one of the biggest challenges, is the infrastructure for all those people that they now have to worry about is how they're going to get their data to the internet. Helium will provide that in the network. So, you know, again, there's a 50-year plan. The next 3 to 5 years, we're building the network. When that is done, the network essentially would be done. The question should be on every one of your minds: how many units around the world participating in the building of that network are you earning helium from? And that's the focus right now, okay? Is how big of a piece of the pie do you want to have for you and your family for generations to come as this network is built? It's not going to continue forever. The timing now is it to go out there and make this happen. Question there?
The biggest question I have, my brother-in-law runs a bunch of hospitals down in Central Texas, and his only question was security. You know, I mean, he's talking about life or death type stuff. I get that question quite a bit. I would like to hear the answer, but I'd also like to know what kind of documentation and stuff we can give to folks like that. Because, you know, he's saying, like, you know, you look at a hospital room, there's 100 IoT devices, Bluetooth, all this stuff, and if it says the heart's not, I mean, if somebody can hack into it or something like that, that's...
Well, you know, this isn't going to be for every single IoT application that's out there, okay? I mean, you know, especially equipment in the emergency room. I mean, they're dealing with equipment in there. It's really more for remote, you know, monitoring types of devices. The LoRa network itself is for low power, low bandwidth types of data coming through. Text message side data, temperature, water detection, tracking, things of that nature. We're not yet dealing with, you know, like video, streaming video, that type of thing. That down the road, there's some other applications in the way for that, but that's not through the LoRa mechanism. Although down the road, once we build this network, I think we're going to find a lot of amazing new technology evolved that'll be able to utilize the network. But getting back to your question on security, okay? So these devices, the Helium folks do everything in their power to make these things as secure and private as possible. It's all open source. There's no microphones in there. There's no cameras in there. The security on this is way better than somebody hooking up a printer to their network, for instance, that, you know, could be a vector for some hacker to get into your system. So they do a whole lot on that. But if somebody's in a really high secure environment, like maybe a government contractor with security clearance, the easiest thing to do if they want to have a miner in their vicinity is just put that on a separate internet connection. It's not going into their secure system, so that they don't have to worry about convincing their IT manager whether this is safe or not. You know, get a cellular hotspot or something, you know, from your cell phone company for $20 a month to provide a wireless connection or add another internet connection to a separate router that's not connected into the other system. For those kinds of areas, you know, there's kinds of those things to do. I mean, for people that have a real specific need for that, but on the most part, I mean, how secure is your system if you're patching into your Wi-Fi with your phone, right? You go to the store and all of a sudden you got advertisements on your phone. These guys are selling your data to the tune of hundreds of dollars a month. You know, I mean, compared to that, this is like super secure.
Right,
But you're gonna get that a lot.
I'm focused more on what kind of quick answer I can get, or quick.
A different modem. I've done it in several banks, right? Because it's financial information, so we just put a different modem in and hooked it up.
Yeah, that's the simplest thing to do in a situation like that, in a business
Here's
environment.
how to
Yeah,
reduce any
for an
worries
extra,
at all, just
you know,
different
$60
modem,
a month,
different,
right?
Okay.
Yeah, easy, very easy to do. Yes.
So the boxes can be shipped anywhere in the world, that work anywhere in the world?
I mean, the answer is that the different countries have different frequencies that are licensed to be able to do what this is doing. CalChip Connects has to go in and go through a process to get a import license to import the technology, to prove that it's at the specific frequency. Like right here in the States, in Canada, 215 megahertz. Same in Australia. Southeast Asia, it's like 923. Over in Europe, it's 868. Other countries, we don't even know yet. I mean, as they're going through doing the certification process. So we don't want to just have people willy-nilly sending units all over the world. Number one, it could potentially cause issues with getting the proper importation certifications with the country if it's being done in a way that's not compliant with what the governments require, and we don't want them to be angry at people taking advantage of that. Number two, you take U.S. units and put them in a location where they're going to have a different frequency. Those U.S. units may be able to communicate amongst themselves, as an example, but once the other units in the country are out there, they will not be able to communicate with those units. So they'll be an island unto themselves. So we don't recommend doing that. You know, you're seeing little pockets of units on the map, you know, in places where the units aren't formally available yet, as people are kind of roguely going into an area and doing that sort of thing. Just hang tight on it. Let's do this right and get it out there and be a good citizen worldwide, so that the countries recognize that CalChip, who we're partnered with, that they're doing it right, that they're not encouraging people to violate, you know, the importation regulations of a country, for instance, and make it more difficult for the real players that want to do it legitimately. So yeah, you know, bottom line, don't encourage people to take units and send them to different parts of the world.
Let's keep this takeaway.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead.
Are you ready, Paul?
One more.
One more question.
Yes.
If somebody bought a hotspot outside the affiliate program, once they receive that hotspot, are they able to hook that hotspot up to the affiliate program if they join since?
These rack miners we know we can do. So somebody had that question earlier, and then over here. So we can get a hold of us if you have a rack miner, you want to convert it. I'm not sure about the other units, and we have a lot of other, I mentioned those POs. There's a lot of different kinds of units coming at us, okay? All do the same thing. But again, we're looking for parts and getting contracts and POs from anything that's available out there. So, but I know the racks we can.
But there are a lot of folks involved with this in iHub that already have a unit that they got before iHub even existed. You know, they're able to fully engage in iHub. It's not like I got to convert my unit in order to participate. You know, they could just go ahead and build the affiliate network, and you know, I mean, whether they can change it or not, we'll see. But
yeah,
it's
but
not a requirement.
Try.
It's not like, oh, you don't have an iHub unit, you can't play in iHub.
What do you mean I can't?
You had your hand up, go ahead.
Just a quick question. I was reading an article about Amazon's thinking
Sidewalk?
about...
Yeah,
they're trying
at
to
least
get
talk
into this
about
as well. I know it's a different technology, but...
It's a different play, but you want to address it quickly?
It is different in a lot of different ways. I mean, one thing, it's Amazon, right? What are they doing? They're taking people's extra internet space bandwidth, and they're basically using it to create another model, yet another model that they can centralize and monetize, right? So we're doing, or what Helium is doing, we're riding on that model as a decentralized model so that each and every one of us can monetize our own portion of owning a piece of the network. So that's a completely different model, but it's a whole different space of what we're doing. It's really apples and oranges.
But the technology is still similar, it's still radio frequency.
They're focused on smart homes, right? We're focused on worldwide IoT networks, so it's a little bit different play. But it's Amazon too. Amazon.
I mean, that was actually my other question, and it's more not to convince me, but to have the right kind of.
You're fluent from Dallas, go ahead.
If you guys wanna help with the Amazon, have one turn it off.
Turn it off.
Yeah, turn it off. Good answer. I love it. Who wants to take the shrimp home?
Yes.
All right, so somebody today on the way over here, my partner and I, we realized somebody bought $1.1 million worth of HNT. If that was anybody in this room this afternoon, you guys are not eligible. Who is it? Rick? Is that you? All right, Paul, what do we got to do here, Bob? All right.
Thank you.
All right, so I get 3 bucks. Here we go. Elsa Ram. Go Elsa! Yay! There you go. I thought about auctioning off for Viva Kids, but we decided to wrap it instead. You started it. All right, guys. Listen, we're going to be here hanging out. We're going to meet you guys, shake your hands. This is our first